Everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's narrative is actively changing the economics of a major international competition, the regulations of professional tennis, and the definition of fan culture in a sport with centuries of silent heritage. The California desert is what we are discussing. We are discussing the Indian Wells BNP Paribas Open. The entire sports world just calls it the fifth Grand Slam since it is such a prominent, intensely contested, and historically significant competition. Additionally, it has been stated that the directors and organizers of this massive event are currently sitting in their offices in a state of unparalleled shock. They are examining their data. They are examining the sales of their tickets. They are examining their reservations for hospitality. They are also understanding that California has no idea what is going to happen to it. Alex Eala is not traveling alone as she makes her way to Indian Wells. She is carrying with her the entire unstoppable and indisputable might of the Filipino diaspora. There has never been anything like what we are seeing currently in the run-up to this tournament in the Indian Wells Tennis Garden's history. The commercial side of the sport is being stunned by the size of the Filipino community in California, which is the largest Filipino diaspora in the United States. We are discussing a vast, extremely well-organized, and intensely devoted community that has been anticipating this precise moment for decades. The rate at which tickets are selling out is unprecedented. Large numbers of people are booking entire stadium sections. In order to make sure that Alex Eala is met with a literal wall of sound, a sea of blue, red, white, and yellow, fan clubs from Los Angeles, San Diego, and Daly City are organizing logistics, transport, and seating arrangements. There is more to this surge of interest than meets the eye. The tournament's history data is fundamentally disrupted by this. In comparison to the known names on paper, a 20-year-old athlete who is currently ranked 31st in the world is creating greater market demand, ticket sales, and raw electric hype from a single demographic. Give it some time to sink in. The 2026 Indian Wells Open will have a prize fund of more than $9 million. The indisputable top player in women's tennis, world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka, multiple Grand Slam champion Iga Swiatek, reigning champion Mara Andrea, Jessica Pegula, and Coco Gauff are among those on the entrance list. These sportsmen have cultivated their reputations over years, earning them prime court assignments and high ticket costs. However, Alex Eala is right in the middle of that top ranking, totally defying the conventional business logic of professional tennis. And completely upending the secondary ticket market, with some seats already increasing in value by double just to see her perform. When the Yele effect hits American land, this is the economic reality. Before we go into the details, I have a question for everyone who is currently watching. Do you believe Alex Eala will make it to Indian Wells semifinals this year? And do you think the Filipino audience in California will formally become the most boisterous and energetic crowd this tournament has ever seen? Now leave your predictions in the comments. The countdown is over, so tell me how far she goes and how loud that stadium will get. Something entirely new is about to happen with the fifth Grand Slam. Let's discuss the current state of affairs in California, as well as the path that led us to this significant turning point. This story's scope merits a thorough understanding. It cannot be dismissed as just another athlete joining a tournament or summed up in a single social media post. You must comprehend how Alex won her place in this main draw in order to comprehend the shock waves that rippled to the Indian Wells organizing committee. She didn't make it through the qualifying stages. A kind tournament director gave her a wild card, which is why she isn't here. Her official WTA ranking of 31 places her in the BNP Paribas Open main event. She rose from world number 137 to number 31 in about a year, earning that place via blood, sweat, and pure willpower. It's a quick ascent based on outcomes that made the tennis community physically pause, look back, and take notice. Take a look at the resume she developed over the past 12 months. The semifinals of the Miami Open were remarkable. She advanced from qualifications to the Dubai Tennis Championships quarterfinals, where she defeated world number 8 Jasmine Paolini with an incredible 6,176 scoreline just a few weeks ago. The semifinals of the Auckland ASB Classic, the quarterfinals in Abu Dhabi, a historic gold medal at the Southeast Asian Games, and her first appearance in the Australian Open main draw. She worked extremely hard to win her spot at Indian Wells, which is the only method that matters in the cruel world of professional tennis. Upon verifying her admission, the tournament organizers began to monitor the ticketing dashboards. They were truly stunned by what they witnessed. The Filipino-American community in California is tremendously organized and extremely proud. They have a strong enthusiasm for sports. And in their own country, people have been yearning for a hero to represent the Philippines at the most prestigious international tennis competitions. Alex isn't merely competing, though. She's winning. She's shattering records. Former top 10 professionals are publicly calling her the sport's biggest draw. In actuality, the trip to the California desert began in Bethel, Oregon. And knowing this particular element is crucial to comprehending the mental strength she is bringing to this competition. Alex made a visit at the Nike World headquarters prior to traveling to California. The way she was treated there laid the groundwork for everything that will happen at Indian Wells. She saw her own photos next to the finest, most illustrious athletes the multi-billion-dollar company had ever represented as she entered the renowned Nike tunnel. Her famous unvarnished look after making it to the Miami semifinals the previous year was captured in one particular portrait. Tears were running down her face as both hands covered it, expressing the unadulterated emotion of an athlete who had just accomplished something that went above and beyond her own expectations. The Nike selected caption beneath that image read, "History in full bloom." That isn't a last-minute marketing slogan. Nike does not use careless captioning. It was a purposeful, potent recognition of her development, her background, and her influence. Another image that was on display in that story tunnel was even more telling. It showed Alex snapping a selfie with her Filipino admirers. That particular decision reveals exactly what Nike knows about the reasons this collaboration is so successful. The company is aware that they are spending in more than just a top athlete. They are making an investment in a worldwide network that consistently supports her wherever she goes. Nike is telling the world that the Alex narrative goes far beyond individual sports success by hanging a fan photo on the wall of their worldwide headquarters. It is a full-fledged cultural movement. This fan base transcends countries and oceans, changing the commercial reality, the mood, and the intensity of every competition she competes in. She arrived in the United States early, and her trip to Oregon was timed with great purpose. In order to provide herself the most time to be ready for the extraordinarily unusual conditions in Indian Wells, Alex arrived early. A very particular and infamously challenging play environment is created by the California desert. It's quite dry outside. The ball's flight is significantly impacted by altitude, which causes it to travel quicker and bounce higher. Compared to the surfaces she just experienced on her wildly successful Middle East and Oceania trips earlier in the year, the hard courts play extremely differently. Arriving in the US before the majority of European players have even completed their journey, become completely acclimated to the Pacific time zone, and becoming well acquainted with the surface conditions. When every player in the draw is playing at a world-class level, these are the minuscule margins that determine whether a tournament is won or lost. Recall that Alex trained at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain for 7 crucial years. That is a setting that is solely based on rigorous, demanding work ethics and painstaking, almost obsessive planning. Her attitude to every tournament campaign reflects this basis. The day before a game, she doesn't just show up in town, hit a few balls, and hope for the best. She prepares for particular atmospheric circumstances by planning, analyzing, and preparing. That kind of elite, deliberate preparation is exemplified by her early arrival in the United States and the tremendous psychological lift of seeing Nike headquarters. Furthermore, while discussing her long-term progress and her chances of winning this title, the importance of Indian Wales's direct entry into the main draw with a top 31 ranking simply cannot be understated. Players that must work hard to advance to the qualifying round are physically exhausted from playing so many intense, demanding games. The emotional energy that the direct entrance players have preserved and stockpiled has already been expended. Remember Miami from the previous year. Alex made it all the way through qualification and advanced to the semifinals, which is an incredible accomplishment. However, it also meant that compared to all of the rested players she vanquished along the way, she played more games overall under significantly greater accumulated physical hardship. At Indian Wells, the story is different this year. She comes in new. She is well rested when she comes. After her intense marathon in Dubai, she arrives after 2 full weeks of strategic physical rehabilitation. And that trip to Nike, which gave her a psychological shield that no amount of practice court time could ever duplicate, fuels her arrival. It conveys a degree of self-confidence that profoundly changes how you go onto a tennis court when you see her face on the wall, the most well-known sporting brand in the world, right next to athletes whose names alone define excellence. Naturally, she faces quite fierce opposition. The 5th Grand Slam is this one. Some of the most successful and dangerous players in the history of the contemporary women's game are represented by the top seeds. As the top-ranked player in the world, Orion Sabalenka has been crushing opponents with his raw power for years. Iga Swiatek continues to be one of the tour's most complete and strategically astute players. As a reigning champion, Mara Andre is eager to show that her victory was no accident. On her best day, any one of these women can take down any other person in the field. The intriguing aspect of the current discourse surrounding Indian Wells, however, is this. Alex Eala's ability to hit a stronger cross-court backhand than the world number 1 is not the only question being debated in the industry. The true discussion is about what transpires over the course of 2 exhausting weeks when a player with Alex's current form, psychological momentum, and unparalleled fan support joins a tournament and begins to dominate the rounds. The players who are supposed to play her will have to do so in front of thousands upon thousands of fervent Filipino supporters. With the exception of possibly a historic men's final, these supporters will produce a level of noise, chants, and stadium atmosphere that the Indian Wells Tennis Garden has never seen before, creating a really unique competitive setting. It greatly benefits a player whose fans are causing the building to tremble. The men's side has provided us with their commentary. In a recent discussion, Sam Querrey and Steve Johnson noted that Alex Eala's appeal is objectively greater than that of several well-known celebrities. In every tournament thus far in 2026, they have been shown to be completely correct. It was amazing how many people came to see her in Auckland. They broke attendance records in the Australian Open in Melbourne. There was a lot of electricity in Abu Dhabi. And following a quarter-final win in Dubai, the excitement was so intense that Coco Gauff herself spoke out to the crowd, publicly praising the Filipino supporters for their presence, for introducing a new audience to the sport, and for totally changing the tournament's vibe. To be clear, however, California is on a totally different level. The Golden State's Filipino population is more than just a few ardent tourists who reserved a special aircraft. It is a well-established, sizable, firmly established, and well-organized group. Ever since her Miami run last year demonstrated beyond a reasonable doubt that she belonged at the top of the sport, they have been anticipating this very moment with a growing sense of expectation. The event organizers are discovering they are not dealing with a transient rise when they express bewilderment at the increase in tickets. In terms of who attends their event and why they are spending their money, they are coping with a long-term structural shift. Millions of dollars have been spent on marketing activities by the U.S. Tennis Association and international tennis organizations for years in an attempt to reach populations that have not traditionally been very interested in professional tennis. In just one season, Alex Eala was able to bring about that significant cultural change. A corporate outreach strategy was not necessary for her. She didn't require a trick. She achieved this solely by winning really challenging matches and maintaining a level of elegance, grace, and ferocious competitiveness that makes the entire country happy to be associated with her narrative. The ramifications for the economy are enormous. A population that wasn't previously producing that level of economic activity at tennis events is now contributing enormous sums of money to the Indian Wells local economy thanks to the rising secondary market ticket prices. The local hotels, the food vendors, the retail establishments, the hospitality suites, and the parking lots. The thousands of Filipino fans that will descend on the California desert will have a significant and profitable impact on every single commercial touchpoint of this enormous competition. Alex won't be by herself when she emerges from that tunnel and onto the spotless purple hardcourt for her debut game. The colors blue, red, white, and yellow will literally form a wall behind her. In a way that most players at a ranking, or any ranking, have never heard at this location, she will hear her name chant. Every opponent, whether they have a number 1 or number 5 next to their name, will feel as though they are playing deep in enemy territory because of the oppressively intense atmosphere in which she will be playing. According to tennis veteran Kim Kerrs, Alex must face the fact that he is treated like Michael Jordan in the Philippines. She's going to see firsthand what it's like to have the same Jordanian-level intensity brought straight to the United States in California. Here, the diaspora is active. They are prepared to offer her 10 times what the Dubai fans gave her. In a sense, the countdown is over. March 4th marks the start of the Indian Wells main draw. The flights have been reserved. Every seat in the stadium is reserved. The group is vociferous, well-organized, and prepared to create history. Fresh out of Oregon, Alex Eala is heading into the desert. With a career-high rating that appropriately puts her in the first tier of the tournament draw, she carries the full, conspicuous confidence of Nike on her shoulders. There is absolutely no precedence in the tournament's history for the flood of support she will encounter when she steps onto those courts. An entirely new kind of energy is about to be infused directly into the veins of the 5th Grand Slam. And under the lights in Dubai, every single player in the draw who finds himself staring across the net at Alex Eala in front of that boisterous audience will comprehend exactly what Coco Gauff did. It's one thing to play against a top-tier athlete who has a deadly backhand. Competing against a top-tier athlete while also embodying the collective will, fervor, and voice of the Filipino people. With her highest ranking to date, Alex Eala is on her way to Indian Wells. The largest sports brand in the world is right behind her, and a sizable California community is prepared to transform a peaceful stadium in the desert into an absolute stronghold. We will be watching every second of the 5th Grand Slam, which is about to take place in its most electrifying and memorable atmosphere in years. I sincerely appreciate everyone who watched this in-depth look. I would like to hear your specific thoughts on this forthcoming competition. How are the top seeds going to respond to this unprecedented pressure from the crowd? Will Alex's powerful baseline game be favored by the desert environment? Above all, do we have a glimpse of the next Indian Wells champion? Please share your ideas with me in the comments section. To ensure you don't miss any updates as we follow this historic run, please hit the notification bell, like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you like this analysis. After the official announcement of the final draw, would you like me to create a follow-up video that breaks down her particular tactical matchups? Tell me, and I'll meet you all at the following.